You may have seen the title of this video. Today, I will explaining the story of Karlie Guse. By the way, this is requested by Jana. So in October of 2018 when she was 16, Karlie was hanging out with her friends at a party, but suddenly, Karlie freaked out because the song was apparently too scary for her. So after that initial freak out, Karlie began to scream and cry, telling everyone that her life is in danger because something was scaring her, but no one knew what it was. So everyone left the house and went back home for the night. After that, she still had a horrified look in her face, but here is the sad part. Her boyfriend tried to comfort her. He gave her the biggest hug ever, hoping to calm her down, but instead, it made things worse and scared her even more. She pushed him away and screamed at his face. After that, she ran away down the street away from him, and then called her stepmom to pick her up whilst running. Note that her parents separated when she was younger. At this time, Melissa was finished picking up Karlie's younger brothers from a Halloween event, so she dropped him off and went to find Karlie where she said she was. Meanwhile, Karlie turned on her phone flashlight so she can see in the dark. That was real smart of her, by the way. Anyways, when Melissa came towards her, Karlie was the only thing she saw because it was pitch dark outside. Apparently Melissa almost accidentally hit Karlie with the car. Thankfully she didn't do that and Karlie got in the car safely. On the drive home, Karlie screamed and cried all the way as she thought she was being chased by something, and even kept looking out on all windows to see if something was there. Even after they got home, which was about 1 hour after it started, Karlie was still scared of something. She stood in the corner of the room and stayed away from Melissa. She kept explaining that her life is in danger and that she was going to die that night, and Melissa had no idea what she was talking about or what was going on with her. Melissa tried to feed a salad that she made because she thought that letting her eat food helped calm her down. But Karlie refused to eat the salad because she thought it was the devil's lettuce, which Melissa didn't understand. Melissa began to get frustrated by this, so she made Karlie get ready for bed and hope she can sleep off whatever is going on. But Karlie refused to get in the bathroom to shower or brush her teeth, saying that she felt a demonic presence in the room and she was going to die if she stayed in there too long. So Melissa made Karlie go to bed instead. Once they got into Karlie's room, Melissa tried to put Karlie to bed, but she kept saying things like she was going to die that night and she wasn't gonna make it until tomorrow. Now it's worth mentioning that Melissa at some point that evening started a voice memo on her phone to record the things Karlie was saying, and while the full audio is not public, a 1-minute clip of the audio is public though, and I'm going to play that clip right now for you all to hear.
This is the audio of Karlie, and it's in my pocket, so it's kind of loud and scuffly.
Melissa, do you want to take a shower? Think it'll make you feel better? No?
You're gonna kill me.
Karlie, listen to what you just said to me.
What?
You said you're going to kill me.
Don't kill me.
Why would I kill you? That's preposterous. It's ridiculous.
I'm eating the devil's lettuce.
You're eating lettuce that I just freshly chopped that I bought from the grocery store.
I don't know why. I'm just
Why you would think it's the devil's lettuce?
Because I'm just thinking all these demonic stuff and I can't help it.
You're okay.
You wouldn't call them?
Why are you looking like that?
When you just said you wouldn't, would you call them?
911? If for what reason?
If
If there was an
I'm gonna die?
emergency? If there was an emergency, yes, I would always call 911. Yeah.
Why are you scaring me?
I don't know. Just don't look at my face.
I have to look at you.
No, you don't. Is it because I'm ugly?
No, you're not.
You're beautiful.
You're ugly.
So after Melissa finally put Karlie to bed, she refused to fall asleep and still continued to panic in bed. Melissa decided to check in on Karlie every hour through the night. Most times when Melissa checked in on Karlie, she just saw her lying there with her eyes wide open and the horrified look on her face, but she wasn't moving or saying anything. Melissa didn't tell if she was still awake or asleep at this point, but she kept checking on her. At around 6:30 a.m., Melissa checked in on Karlie one final time. And Karlie was no longer there. After searching the whole house and calling her name, Karlie was nowhere to be seen, but Melissa noticed something crucial. The front door was unlocked and cracked open, meaning that Karlie had likely left the house at some point in the night, because she was still freaked out. It was now the morning of October 13th, and Karlie was nowhere to be seen. Later in the day, 3 people claimed they saw a strange-looking young woman in pajamas that was wandering out of the town. They say she was carrying a piece of paper, looking at it, and then looking up at the sky and all around her as if she thought she was being followed. Now take a look at this map. So this all happened in a small town in the California desert named Bishop, and as you can see, it is completely surrounded by desert wilderness. There is nothing around but miles and miles of open land and mountains, and it seemed likely Karlie had left the town and was wandering out on her own into the wild. This is a view of the town from above. Look at all the open landscape. Look how easily someone can get lost out there. There's so much open space. Anyway, the stepmother and father got on the search all throughout the day, and the next day, authorities got involved and they brought in helicopters and men on horses to search. And at night, the helicopters used searchlights all around the area, and men used infrared binoculars to see if they could spot her from a distance in the darkness of nighttime. By next month, they had searched the land within a 10-mile radius of the town, which is indicated by the black circle you see right here, but there wasn't a sign of her anywhere. And Karlie, if you're still alive and somehow watching this, please come back to us. Everyone wants to see you again, and we're sorry for what happened to you that night.
Yeah, please come back to us, Karlie. We all miss you, including your friends, your boyfriend and your family. We're so sorry for what happened to you.
So I have the theory, maybe this is all part of the act, but that is unlikely, because if it was the case, she would tell everyone involved about this act. But here's a more realistic one, maybe she freaked out because she saw hallucinations of monsters that no one else saw. And the demonic presence in the hallucinations probably has something to do with her past, because there is no way you can suddenly hallucinate out of nowhere, unless if you do demonic stuff from the past. But that's all for this theory. Now before I say goodbye, I will talk about one more thing, then I'll show something. Anyways, Melissa made a few videos and live streams on Facebook to document the search for Karlie, but it was to no avail. This situation also ended up causing a lot of tension to rise between Karlie's biological mother against the stepmother and her father, as both sides accused each other for this. But in the end, nothing got anywhere, and here's the worst part of it all. It is now May 2025 and she has still never been found. To this day, she is still out there. At this point, lots of people think she is dead. After all, it has now been 7 years by the time this video was published since this happened, and nobody can survive 7 years on their own out in the desert without water. Also, as you all know, the pandemic happened 2 years after the incident, and how would she survive through the pandemic all on her own if she was still around by then? But here's the thing, there are people who believe she could still be alive and out there to this day. In fact, she has been seen by a few people in some recent years. 1 year after she went missing, August 2019, a YouTuber was exploring the California desert and caught a young woman walking barefoot through the desert by herself in the distance on camera. In 2021, 2 guys were walking through the desert and they report seeing a young woman in tattered clothing running towards them from the distance, but they ran away from her because they feared she could be an escaped felon or a lunatic. Later that same year, someone claims they thought they saw a girl that looked like her roaming around in Las Vegas, and then another 2 years later in 2023, another person said they also thought they saw someone that looked like her in the back of a truck. But it was never confirmed, and yeah, that's the sad and scary story of Karlie Guse. Anyways, I'll show it now. So this is what Karlie would look like if she was alive. She would have handmade clothing as you see here, and her hair would be wrapped up to a ponytail or any compact hairstyle. That was all. We should spread awareness about this so she can be found faster. Share this to everyone you know. Anything helps, because it will pay out at the end. Anyways, goodbye.